Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and yesterday Apple released macOS Monterey 12 Beta 4. This is available to developers, and hopefully by the time you're watching this, it will be out to public beta testers. However, they do sometimes take 1 to 2 days to release it, so it may be out later today, if not, possibly the next day. Now, this was released alongside iOS 15 Beta 4, iPadOS 15 Beta 4, watchOS 8 Beta 4, and tvOS 15 Beta 4. So all of those are available now, along with a HomePodOS 15 Beta 4 update as well. Now this came in at 2.34 gigabytes. That's on an M1 MacBook Pro. And one thing to know is it installed pretty easily. It did take a while for the update to show up, but once it did and I was able to install it, it installed like normal. Prior to this, with Beta 1, 2, and 3, often it would reboot into the startup options. I would have to log in with my credentials and then exit that, and then it would install the update. It was a little bit of an odd situation, but this time it installed just like you would expect. So it looks like they've worked out some bugs. Now let's take a look at the build number and talk about what's new. So we'll go to the Apple, and then we'll click About This Mac, and you can see the build number is 21A5294G. And in this particular update, one thing that had many of us very excited is that in their notes, they said that universal control would be active. However, they quickly pulled that and it's not active. So if you go into your system preferences and click on displays, with Beta 3 in the bottom left, we had the option for advanced, similar to what we would think would happen with universal control. We don't have the option here anymore, and we can just extend the display to a nearby iPad, just like you could before with Sidecar. So they've removed that option, or maybe they just never added it and made a mistake, but we should see it hopefully with Beta 5 at this point. So they didn't add it. Many of us were very excited to try this out, and unfortunately it's not here. So that's something that was a bit of a disappointment and kind of odd, since there is universal control running in the activity monitor in the background. So if we go into activity monitor, we'll go into activity monitor, go to memory, type in universal control. You'll see universal control is active here, but it's not allowing us to actually use it. So hopefully we'll see that in Beta 5. Now the next thing they've updated has to do with live text. So if we go into Safari and we'll go to my website, on my website, you'll see that I have an old update about iPhone 11 Pro Max, but live text is available now not only to M1 devices, it's available to Intel as well. So we can highlight text within a photo, and then we can copy that text and maybe paste it somewhere else. So we could paste it in the top here, and we could paste in search or just paste. There we go. And we can paste any text that we've copied. So this is available now on Intel Macs where it wasn't before. So they've updated that. Also, if we go back, maybe go to Apple, open a couple more tabs, we'll go to another Apple tab and maybe a Google tab, you can see the tabs are divided across the top. Now, this was a design change that happened with Beta 3, and many people prefer this over the prior update where it was sort of in one line. Now we had the option to switch between that view by going to View and then changing the actual view. Apple has changed this and put this under Preferences. So if we go to Safari and then Preferences, under Preferences and under Tabs, we can now switch between a compact view and a separate view. So this is very similar to what they did with iPadOS 15 Beta 4. They made this an option so you can switch between either or. If you like the newer design where you can close the tabs here by highlighting over them, and it's more compact but less intuitive for someone that uses it regularly, you can use that. If you want separate, you can use separate. They've just put it under this Preference tab. Now, if we close out of Safari and we go back into System Preferences, you'll see Notifications here under Preferences. However, it now says Notifications and Focus. Prior to this, it was just Notifications. If we click on it, we now have the option for Focus in the same menu. So there's options for notifications and focus now, and you can adjust your different focus modes here if you want to do that. So you can control it all from the same place with notifications, since that sort of makes sense, although I'm surprised they just didn't make it a separate category altogether. Now let's close out of this. And if we go into shortcuts, there's an update there as well. Now this update carries across multiple devices. If we go into home, you'll see we now have the option for return to home screen. This is something that was not there prior to this update. We didn't have the option to put in a return to home screen option. So if you want to add this, maybe you're creating a shortcut and you want it to go back to the home screen based on a set of variables, you can now do that. So this just wasn't there before, and they've added it in shortcuts. Now, as far as physical changes and updates, that's everything they've updated in Beta 4 that I've been able to find. Some people have said that they were seeing a notification after booting up that shows new features in macOS Monterey. I was not seeing this myself, but some people are seeing that. Now, they have resolved some issues as well. There's 14 resolved issues and 18 known issues. Some of the resolved issues have to do with being able to boot into recovery mode now, where it wouldn't work before. So they've fixed quite a few issues. There's still some yet to go. And of course, we're waiting for universal control. I can't wait to see that. Now, as far as when to expect Beta 5, well, Beta 5 will probably be within a week based on what we've seen in the past. Normally, when Apple releases a new update, they have bi-weekly updates, usually from the 1st to the 4th beta. After the 4th beta, they usually switch within August sometimes to a weekly beta schedule with a final release in September. That's normally what they do. However, this could change, of course, from year to year. So if we go to our year, you'll see maybe we'll have it on the 4th of August with an update, or the 3rd of August, or it could be the next week as well. So we just don't know. Usually around Beta 4 or 5, it switches to a weekly cycle, and then we'll have a final release usually in late September with macOS, or even early October. So it just depends on what they decide to do, but there should be at least another 3 betas or so based on what we've had in the past. Now, as far as should you install macOS Monterey Beta 4, if you're already beta testing Beta 3, there's no reason not to get the latest updates and test out all the features. And if you're on macOS Big Sur, I would recommend against it. I never recommend putting a macOS update on a production machine. So if you're using Final Cut or Logic or Adobe Premiere or anything like that, I usually say skip it until the final version's out so they work out the bugs and it doesn't interrupt your day-to-day production. Otherwise, if you have an extra Mac around and you want to try it out, then definitely you could do that. If you are having issues, make sure you submit feedback, as Apple uses that to determine what to fix first and resolves those issues. And so that's everything in macOS Monterey Beta 4. If you found anything else, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to get your hands on a version of this wallpaper for iPhone, I'll link it in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already, though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.